if I could, I do cold case files, a lot of murder mysteries, and if I could see past that first microphone down there, why, I know that I would recognize a lot of you people here in Terre Haute. Wonderful crossroads of America. But back in 1968, there was a crime in the United States that would strike such terror that it never will go away. To get the full appreciation, I'm going to reflect in my remarks the prosecution's case of Vincent Bugliosi prosecuting Charles Manson, and 3 defendants, 3 girls, not much older than your daughters, going to this school. I covered the case for CBS News for 10 months. Every day, very close to Charlie, very close to the girls, watching this go on in front of a national, not cameras in the courtroom, but we went outside with our artist's conception, drawings, and then we would piece together what happened during the courtroom proceedings that day. It's the story of runaway children who, during the 60s, kind of slipped into this river of traffic that went up the west coast of the United States, Highway 1. They would sleep in crash pads when they could get it, or sleep out in national parks. They were running away from home, encouraged by the music and free love and the youth culture and the drug culture of the 60s. And they would always be going to Mecca, Haight-Ashbury in San Francisco, where gathered together they could walk down the sidewalk. Everybody there was like they were. It was freedom and culture and one tie-dye T-shirts and Bob Dylan and people strolling and playing the guitar. And there was one young figure who was dressed in white, had a beard, had long hair, and when he stood up he looked much like Jesus. His name was Charles Manson. Only he was not Jesus, far from it. He spent 27 out of 36 years in prison. His mother was a prostitute in San Pedro, California. He was raised essentially in reformatories and in jails. But when he realized that he could assume another identity by slipping into the white robe, he became a kind of prophet/messiah who played the guitar and attracted young girls. The next step was to get a Volkswagen van, the old kind that was there in the 60s. And they began driving up and down the coast. And like Pied Piper, they would ask runaway girls to come in. We're forming a family. And they would sing hymns. And they would listen to Beatles tunes. And it was close, there was a closeness. And they wound up down in the Los Angeles area, in the Chatsworth, where many of the wildfires are now going on in L.A. And it was an old movie ranch where Roy Rogers and Gene Autry would go out and shoot their B films, beautiful scenic rocks, dusty, and an old bunkhouse. And they set up shop in the bunkhouse. And some of the girls would be domestic types. Patricia Krenwinkel would stay at home, and she would clean, and she was the mother of the group. And there may have been 20 young girls. Charlie was the alpha male, if you will. And they would send out a foray team searching through the trash cans to pick up uneaten pieces of pizza to bring home, and they would fix dinner. And then they would sit around and sing. It was really almost like summer camp, with one dark shadow. They did a lot of drugs.